What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead, jump straight into it. So I'm not big on investing heavily into Pokemon Modern Sealed product. You guys know that. Am I willing to jump in and I want to be a part of it with everybody else? Yes. Is that something that I am pushing regularly? No. But this could be fun, okay? And I see a lot of potential here. And as Sword and Shield is coming to a close, and the last big play I made with that was Battle Styles, and that's worked out beautifully. I'm looking ahead here. I still have big plans with my vintage collection goals, but I'm looking ahead here. I'm, fighting in my head. Do I want to go after those alt darts in Sword and Shield? Those are still going to be around. So I'm going to go after those later when I sell off pieces of my collection, when I sell booster boxes or cases or what have you. But right now, I'm looking ahead at Scarlet and Violet. Yesterday, I made that video 2 days ago, but it got up yesterday. I was talking about Crown Zenith and how much I love that set and how that one's probably next to move. Now, I have a ton of Crown Zenith. My closet is half full of just Crown Zenith. It's the last set that I need to move. That and the Charizard UPCs and the Arceus V boxes, V-Star boxes, I forget what those are called. But I have to move all of that stuff from my closet into the garage soon and just clear out the closet. One of the last things that I'm looking at is Silver Tempest, buying some boxes of Silver Tempest. But honestly, looking ahead at Scarlet and Violet, that's gonna be next on the chopping block. And for me, looking at all the sets, I have one case of Obsidian Flames, and I think it's gonna stay that way. I think Obsidian Flames is a cool set, but for me, that's the least likely set I think that's gonna move. People aren't really talking about it. Maybe that even makes Obsidian Flames a good set to buy into, but for me, I've got a case of Obsidian Flames. That's all I really want. Looking at everything else, I'm a big fan of Scarlet Violet base. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Scarlet Violet base. It has the Corridon, the Miraidon, the Miriam, SIR, and it has the Gardevoir, which I keep forgetting about, but that is a beautiful card. That card is absolutely gorgeous. Not only that, it has the Curlia and it has the Ralts. All those taken into account make it such an awesome set. For me personally, I love that set. And at $540 a case right now, back at $500, back at $450 a case, it was a steal. And I remember when that set was right about to come out, I was saying how ridiculous it is that people were wanting $700, $800 a case. And I bought 3 or 4 cases at that price, guys. I bought 3 or 4 cases at release of Scarlet Violet base because I wanted to go hard with Scarlet and Violet. I got burned really, really badly on that. How did I remedy that? Well, I ended up buying 6 or 7 more cases of Scarlet and Violet to bring my cost average way down. And I bought some of those cases at the 500 mark, some of them at the 525 mark, and bought 2 more recently, which I'm going to talk about here shortly, at the 540 mark. Meaning, I still think it is worthy of buying at 540 after taxes. If you're not tax exempt, if you're not a sole proprietor, or you're not an LLC yet, which I'm not sure if I want to go into that direction, I'm okay with paying taxes on that stuff and having to report less stuff. But I think moving forward, I probably should start an LLC or a sole proprietorship. Anyways, Scarlet Violet seems like a move to me, okay? Next up, Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved has already moved, okay? That ship has sailed. I've got 3 cases of Paldea Evolved. I'm happy with that. I'm leaving it at that. I wish I had way more, but honestly, I don't. Paldea Evolved is great. The Raichu illustration is awesome. The Tyranitar is awesome. Really, really like that set, but I don't see the hype in it the way that everybody else does. The Magikarp is a big driver for that set. Magikarp is picking up nicely. Iono's in that set, picking up nicely. Awesome SIR, beautiful all around, but again, I'm not a waifu guy, so even the Miriam and Scarlet Violet base, I don't really care about. That's just me. I'd rather collect the Pokemon cards themselves. Don't really care about waifu or trainer arts or galleries or trainer full arts. Just not my thing, right? All you guys out there that will pay top dollar for the Lily full art from Sun and Moon era, great, you do you. That type of stuff is not for me, although I appreciate everything, it's just not really for me. And we're seeing a lot of that in Scarlet Violet, which has been tough for me because I'm not big on all these trainer artworks and SIRs, but it is what it is. The character SIRs have blown up. That's a big thing now. Next up, you've got Paradox Rift. Paradox Rift is well, I guess you have Obsidian Flames, but again, we already talked about that. Paradox Rift is a phenomenal set, I think. Am I crazy about it? No. The Roaring Moon is awesome. The futuristic Pokemon and their new art forms are really awesome. Overall, and there is the Groudon. There is the Groudon. The Groudon illustration is doing very well. That's an awesome set. I would say Scarlet Violet base. Paradox Rift is right about to be on the move. Should have probably bought those cases when they were more like closer to 500 flat, but I'm okay to pick them up now. I think, I want to say it's around 540 to, or no, 570 to 600 for Paradox Rift. Still, even around $100 a box, I think that's pretty good, especially because I didn't have to buy into it and then wait a lifetime for this stuff to move, even though, in all honesty, Scarlet Violet is seemingly somehow moving faster than Sword and Shield. I don't know if it'll have the same amount of growth, but it seems like it's picking up way more. The investment environment of Pokemon right now is booming, okay? To say the very least, right now, everybody and their mother is investing in cases and boxes. This is the movement, and this is why all this stuff is getting pumped and hyped up, and I just want to know where the ceiling is, okay? I think there's going to be great potential here, but I feel like it's also kind of a circle jerk. I talked about this in the live stream, like, we're all doing this. Who's going to be buying at these much higher prices? I know there are sales out there, but like realistically, like the people that are in this hobby during these sets being released, I don't, you know, unless they get older and they have more disposable income and they come back and buy these sets, I want to know where the ceiling is on these sets. I think they could easily, you know, cases could jump 100 to 300 bucks in the short term, but in the long term, I'm wondering where the ceiling is on a lot of these sets. That's something that none of us really know right now. Only time can tell. We can look at Sun and Moon and Sword and Shield, but so far, I think the highest is the Team Up box, sitting at around $3,000, maybe even more than $3,000 right now. So I'm wondering, like Evolving Skies, is that going to hit 3,000 for that high on that box, or will it be like 2,500 in the super long term? A lot of the vintage boxes that are really old, a lot of them have found their ceiling around 10, 15 grand. Some of them, if they're really, really valuable, are in the 30 to 50 area. And then of course, you know, first edition base set box, that's like a $250,000 box. Maybe you can get one cheaper. Those are super, super rare, very hard to find these days. Don't see a whole lot of people ever talking about buying those or collecting them. Really don't see those at all. Anyways, going back to Scarlet and Violet, okay, Paradox Rift, it's got that Roaring Moon. I really like it. I'm a huge fan of Salamence, so for me, the Roaring Moon is a sick card. And then you've got Paldean Fates. Don't really care about it. It's a special set. I've already learned my lesson about special sets. I'm sure Paldean Fates is still going to do great, but it's not for me. It's just not for me. I would like to get those SIRs still, the Mew SIR and the Gardevoir SIR. Those are awesome. Not a big fan of the Charizard SIR. It is what it is. And then now we're looking at Temporal Forces after that. Temporal Forces, I didn't care about it. I didn't care about it the same way I didn't care about Twilight Masquerade. Kind of how I talked about in the last video, talking about Crown Zenith, and how near the end, the second half of the video, the reason why that video ended up being like 35 minutes is because I ended up ranting about how I think I've made a mistake in judging these Scarlet Violet sets too soon. Particularly Temporal Forces and Twilight Masquerade. Now, when all of these cards got hyped up in Temporal Forces, I didn't feel like I had FOMO, okay? I just didn't understand it. I was just like, Ghastly, $50? This is stupid. But taking a further look and knowing that these SIRs are probably going to trend up over time, we're already seeing the numbers on a lot of Scarlet Violet SIRs start to move up and inch up over time. It's really amazing to see that sustainable growth, guys. Pokemon is really, it's becoming a very serious investment class. And I'm not going to debate it anymore. I'm not going to fight it anymore. I'm still cautious. I'm still skeptical, but it's all good. Let's ride this wave. I want to be a part of it. And I know it's been 10 minutes, but I'm going to tell you guys now what I bought into. I just want to finish my last point on temporal forces because I bought a lot of modern Scarlet Violet cases recently. Temporal forces, that Morty's Conviction, just having the Gengar in there makes me like that card a little bit more. It's growing on me. The Ghastly's cool. The Gengar full art is the main the main card for me in that set. I just think Gengar full arts are always going to be sick. Gengar just has a market. There's a lot of people that like to collect just Gengar. And I think Gengar is always going to be popular. The purple color. He's a menacing Pokemon. He's badass. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and then there's a lot of other, you know, the Iron Crown. There's a ton of amazing SIRs that are also added in those sets that I don't even care for. But, you know, I should mention that there's also other value in those cards that people really seem to like. Even though I'm not a big fan, I'm not going to knock it. And then, of course, Twilight Masquerade, which I guess is officially releasing today, tomorrow. I want to wait and I want to see if pricing on those cases is going to come down from the 570 point. It probably is not going to, but I'm not super crazy about the set. I will say there's a card that I looked over and was too ignorant to see and appreciate at the time, but seeing it now and seeing photos of the card in person, I'm really starting to like that set because of one card, and it's Lana's Aid. I'm a huge fan of Corphish. You know, I can't explain it, guys. It's not even like Corphish takes up most of the cards, just a little Corphish sticking out in the river. But I just love that card. I absolutely love that card. And there's going to be other stuff to offer in that set, but that card alone, I love that card so much that I actually am going to be investing in Twilight Masquerade as well. Now, I didn't buy any yet. I want to see what happens with those prices and see if it'll go down to like 500, maybe 520, maybe 540, somewhere in that area. Maybe if you watch auctions, you'll be able to get it for that price. So I am going to go into Twilight Masquerade, which originally I thought I might buy a box or two. Maybe we'll open it, probably not. I probably still won't be opening it, but I will be buying into it and hopefully at some point getting that Lana's Aid at some point. And if the price on those boxes really dives a good bit, I might buy a couple cases and actually open a box or two. We'll see. We'll see. If I can get the cost average down, we'll see. But I made a major purchase recently. I've decided to go all in on Scarlet and Violet moving forward. And just in general, moving forward with Pokemon, I'm going to be more open-minded because there is potential there. And I'm doing a little bit better at this point in my life. And I'm getting very close to finishing my vintage goals. So that is going to be a focus for me, is modern alt arts, graded modern alt arts, or getting them graded, and just going all in, going heavily into the next era. Whether I like it or not, I'm just going to try and trust the process. But I bought 2 more boxes of Scarlet Violet base at 540. Still feel good about it. I bought 2 more boxes of Paradox Rift, and I bought another couple boxes of Battle Styles. I still feel good about it, even at 115, 120 mark. And then I bought, because it's still going to take time for Battle Styles to really, you know, be concrete in its price. But I bought 7 cases of Temporal Forces at 570. It was at 570 when I looked at it weeks ago. It's still at 570. It was still at 570 2 days ago. I just said, you know what? Screw it. I didn't have any pressure to buy this. A lot of the cards have come back down to earth in that set, and I feel like that's still a pretty decent price, and I feel like that's going to be one of the strongest sets out of Scarlet Violet. If there's any big plays that I could make that I think will work out really well, it's probably Temporal Forces, because people really, really like that set. So I'm glad I bought into that. Yes, it was a lot of money, but those 7 cases are going to work for me. I really feel like they're going to work for me. And Twilight Masquerade, when I figure out what happens with the price, I'll probably buy 2 cases of it. I think for me, a new low that I'm getting at with sets is if I really, really don't believe in the set at all, 1 case. If I am okay with the set, 2 cases. If I feel like the set is gonna do pretty well, like Paldea Evolved or Paradox Rift, 3 cases. And then there are sets, now with Scarlet Violet base, I mainly bought way more of it because I had to get my average down. So that is what it is. And I will continue to keep buying it if I can afford to and if the price just sits where it's at, because the average cost per box there, even at $5.40, is awesome. It's got to move any day now. Crown Zenith is starting to get some action. The next up is Scarlet and Violet base, guys. Logically thinking, Scarlet Violet base is next in the timeline. It should start to appreciate. It was before all of these other sets. Come on now. Scarlet and Violet base, I want to see you do some numbers. But it'll be interesting going into this next era. We've got a dragon set coming up next after this Fable. I'm not even Shrouded Fable. I'm gonna mess this up. I'm gonna botch this. But Fable, there's the next set that's released. We've already been all chopping it up and talking about it, even though Twilight Masquerade has just released. I hate this about Pokemon. We're always looking for the next thing, and it's just an endless chase, and I don't appreciate that about this hobby. It is never ending, and even people like myself that have a good income, that work our butts off to be able to afford buying like this and collecting and investing like this, it's still really, really tough to keep up. But yeah, these are the plays that I'm making, guys. Just wanted to let you guys know. I'm not trying to pump this stuff. I won't bring it up unless, you know, we see some major gains. I'm just happy about it, but I thought, you know what? Let's ride this wave. It seems like at this point, sealed modern booster boxes and cases are the path of least resistance. So, and I've spent a lot of money collecting the cards that I really wanted in my collection. So at this point, I'm trying to pivot and focus on buying stuff that I can cash out on down the road. Do I feel great about it? Even if I do really well on it? No, not necessarily. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not on my high horse here. Okay. This isn't a moral high ground here, but it's just the facts. Someone is going to have to overpay for this stuff. Someone is going to have to overpay for this stuff, and they won't be overpaying necessarily because it'll be the market. It's the market price. But I feel bad for people that are buying Paldea Evolved at 800 when I was like on the fence about buying Paldea Evolved cases at 600, and people are going to buy this stuff. I guess it's going to be inevitable, but it's just going to be interesting to see, and I don't necessarily feel great about it. I feel good when I'm selling vintage items. These things are harder to come by, and so I feel like I can charge a premium on that, and it's okay. Like, hey, I found this stuff. You didn't have to find it. I sat on this, I stored it, and I took good care of it so that I could get it to you. Now, that argument, I guess, could be used for modern sealed product. It's like, okay, well, I bought all these cases so that you didn't, and then I stored them, and then I sat on them, and then I held on to them so that you could buy it when you wanted to buy it. There is that argument, but I don't care what you say. Modern sealed product is everywhere out there, and I'm going to continue to invest in it and buy in it and build my position of modern sealed product, like really go all in on it, but I don't feel great about it. I still don't feel great about it, and it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. I don't care that the trending track record has been booster boxes are going up. I still feel it's okay to have a healthy amount of skepticism with any of this stuff. When markets flip, dump, change. We didn't see this coming with Japanese 151, and it destroyed people that got into Japanese 151 on the high end. I've bought 1 box since. I would like to buy more boxes. I'm not a big Japanese person, but I like Japanese 151, and I love 151. And that leads me to my last point in this video, actually. 151 is the best set in Scarlet and Violet. 151 has the best cards in Scarlet and Violet. in my opinion. 151 will go down as the most goated set in Scarlet and Violet, but it may end up like Crown Zenith, so you need to be careful. You may be sitting on that product for a long time. Just like Crown Zenith, it was harder to find, it was expensive to get into, and then they reprinted it into oblivion, and I think they're going to do that with 151. And just because they haven't reprinted these sets, you know, Sword and Shield, one of my buddies made a really good point that Pokemon has, you know, a 5-year reprint window, okay? There's no telling what's going to happen down the road. And I'd like to say that reprints don't matter, but they do to an extent. It really depends on how much they put out there. If every single Sword and Shield box suddenly went up on Pokemon Center, I'm sure we would all be scrambling to get boxes. I know I would. I would definitely be buying Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike. Those are two that I really missed the boat on and only have a couple boxes of. And those were such big plays. One of my biggest regrets in this hobby so far was not buying more Fusion Strike and Chilling Reign. Yeah, going off on tangents here, we just don't know what can happen. I think it's good to have a healthy amount of skepticism, and I hope they don't reprint it, okay? I hope they don't reprint it. That would show a lot of collectors what Pokemon is all about, and Pokemon has done an incredible job, unlike Hasbro, unlike Konami with Yu-Gi-Oh!, you know, with all these other TCGs, One Piece, Dragon Ball, I'm sure, all these other TCGs, and One Piece is still doing very, very well. Okay, this is not me crapping on One Piece. I'm just saying that they reprinted the first set of One Piece, okay? You don't do that. You do not reprint the first set of a TCG that you're creating. And so I think Pokemon, all this to say that Pokemon has done a really good job of not diluting the value of these things when they very, very easily could have, and still could. So I'm keeping an open mind about that. I have a full-time job, so honestly, whatever happens with this stuff, it doesn't really matter to me. I don't want to lose money, but I don't think I'm going to lose money on any of this stuff. Like so many people have said, at $80, $90, $100 a booster box, very, very hard to believe that you're going to take losses here on sealed collectible items that every single day are being streamed, opened, pack ripped. Just like every Wednesday live we do, opening products, okay? People are just going to continue opening this stuff up till the end of time. So supply will go down, demand maybe even staying the same, will keep those prices going up because the supply will continuously be finite and moving lower. Anyways, peace out guys, just letting you know, that was some stuff I picked up recently. I really have to make more room in my garage. I don't know how I'm going to store all this stuff. And I'm also thinking of how we're going to do the transition. I don't know if we're going to get rid of this room entirely. Maybe the girls will be in the same room together. I know we're going to have the nursery in our bedroom essentially, but I'm trying to figure out, you know, if I should go ahead and start moving everything in the garage and clearing out the space. Because either way, I'm going to make it work. I'm not afraid of change. I will put a dope-ass AC unit in the garage and hook it up so that we're getting cool air in there. And the best part about the garage is that it's very far from the bedrooms, so I can make noise, go crazy. It's a much bigger space than this room I'm in. So the garage actually would be kind of amazing to have a new setup in. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm gonna do that. But yeah, I got more stuff I'm gonna store in there, and I will keep you guys posted. I don't ever do videos, like I do mail days for my cards and when I pick up theme decks or when I pick up singles, but I never do mail days for when I pick up booster boxes and cases. It's boring. I don't see a point to be like, hey guys, just bought all these cases. I just do it and I put it in the garage. Or before I used to put it in the closet until it filled up. But I think maybe we'll do that. We'll do a mail day video coming up. I'll show some stuff I personally picked up, and I'll show you guys all these cases that I'm picking up recently. If they do all come at the same time. I ordered them all the same day. They should come all the same day, but we'll see. But I'll just show you guys proof that I am loading up on this stuff. I think it's probably easy for people to watch this channel maybe and think like, I know Ryan buys a lot of high-end cards, but I also feel like there's no way he's buying all this modern product and buying vintage cards. Guys, I am crazy, okay? I am a Pokemaniac for sure, and I'm going all in on modern product right now. So I will do a video showing all those cases that I pick up, and eventually, I mean, that might be part of my background in the garage. Will just be all the cases behind me, and that would be a sick background. So I don't know if these shelves will always be here, but it's been fun using this room. And maybe we'll continue to use this room. I don't know yet, guys. I have no idea what the future holds. But anyways, I appreciate you guys watching. I've been ranting way too long. I need to end this video and head to work. Peace.